All right, all right, all right. My computer is back working again. We are live. What's up, Aunt? And Joe. Buddy, I'm up to 2014. Nice. You're getting close to present day, man. The friendship ended today. I'm gonna see. Are you gonna see Megan Tuesday? I saw Megan earlier today. Megan 2.0, obviously. Hey, Joe. I want to stop by and say hello. Hope you have a good night. You too, man. Yeah, Megan 2.0 was fun. I enjoyed it. It was definitely a fun sequel. There's just like no horror in that movie at all. It's all action, comedy. Like there's no horror in it. But that's what I expected, and that's what pretty much everybody did. So that was pretty fun. But we are going to watch Twin Peaks episodes 4, 5, and 6, as we left off with episode 3 2 weeks ago. Which we get a lot of Albert in this episode. And I love Albert. Everyone's saying hi. That's cool. Yeah, it's good. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Wasn't like fantastic or anything. It was good though. For what it is, absolutely. It was very, very heavy Terminator vibes throughout the whole thing. Like Terminator 2, especially. I've never been a big Terminator series fan, so I mean, maybe it pulls from other movies too, but heavy Terminator vibes, like even more so than the first movie, which already had a little bit of that. This is like full on. Like, should be like Meganator 2.0. Is doing well. Good to hear everyone's doing good on this Saturday night. I'm just going to start this, and then if people come in and want to watch along, we'll watch. I'll give a timestamp because this is 3 episodes, like a 3-hour thing. I remember the last time we did this. All right. There's only what I think it's like. It's only 8 episodes in the first season. Yeah, 8. So 2 weeks from now will be 7, and I'll do like 7 and 8, and the first of season 2, since it leaves off on a cliffhanger and shit. Thank you, Joe. Sharing on Instagram. Thank you, man. You got a strike for what? Was it a guideline thing or a copyright thing? Ooh, I'm in a David Lynch mood tonight for sure. Then I got to record Feast too. So my laptop charger just fucking shorted out or some shit the other night, like 5 days ago. Got here in like 3 days, so it all worked out. But I've been wanting to talk about and record the videos for Feast 2 and Poltergeist 3. So I'll be doing that not tonight, 3 hours from now yet. No. Tomorrow. Sometime tomorrow. Oh, this is the episode that always trips me out at the beginning because it plays the intro credits. Then it starts, like the episode itself starts with the music again, and it's still showing the credits. Every time I rewatch this, I think, like, why did it start again? But it's just the intro and they play the music again. It's weird. I say this, JT did, Amy and Violet. Yeah, they both did very good. Oh, yeah. That's why you get the strike? Stupid. There's Audrey. There's my gal. That's right. This is Laura Palmer's funeral episode. Yeah, that's what I gathered from your previous comment. That's stupid. I mean, were you bothering him? If you were, I could see why you got the strike. But if it's for something stupid, I mean, that's dumb. People leave stupid comments against each other, fighting all the time and shit. They don't get strikes. I was like the episode when Audrey and Cooper have their little flirtatious conversation, which I forgot to look up from 2 weeks ago, if that was like what the reason was for them not going with Cooper and Audrey liking each other and having a little relationship and switching it to Annie. Pretty sure it was the age difference. He has to reveal his dream to Cooper. Cooper has to reveal his dream to Truman. That's where we ended with episode 3. It was him having his tripped out dream in the Red Room. One-Eyed Jacks. Sounds exactly like a place you'd go to get laid and then illegal prostitution and drug dealing and shit. One-Eyed Jacks, perfect name for that operation. I was bothering. All right, there you go. I mean, I respect that. Anyone who could just say it how it is. Yeah, I was bothering him. I got this right. If he was being a dick, you were bothering him. Trying to get this in VHS. What, Twin Peaks, the series? Yeah, I'd imagine it probably is. I don't know if they've released. Did they release like a full box set with seasons 1 and 2 and The Return? Because all I remember was when The Return came out. A year and a half afterwards or so, they released it on physical media. Probably less than that. I don't remember them doing like a whole box set of the whole series. They probably did at this point. But I don't collect physical media, so. They do? Yeah, I figured that. You rewatched Dragon tonight, Joe? In anticipation for the sequel? Oh, here he goes. Who killed Laura Palmer? That's the big question. It was good. Megan 2.0. You'll enjoy it, Joe. It's a little like, I don't know. Like I said, there's hardly any horror at all. It's very much an action flick and a comedy. But everyone did a good job. It was fun. They expanded on some stuff from the first movie. Wasn't really any kills to speak of or anything, but that's not like the type of movie it is or series it's becoming. I feel like you don't see Megan as much, like in her physical body. But she's like in other things though, like her consciousness. Well, that's the whole debate. Her consciousness, quote unquote. Hey, what's up, Scott? Taco Bell? Sounds good, man. Actually, I can go for some Taco Bell right now. I'm convinced still that the arms bending back thing is like referencing when her hands were bound behind her back before she was killed. I still don't know what the cousin thing means. When she says that's the man from another place says that's my cousin, but doesn't it look exactly like Laura Palmer? Never understood what that means. Maybe it's because like Bob is possessing Leland, right? And then Laura is the daughter. So Bob, nah, that don't work. Actually, I won't even get into that theory. I was working it in my head and I said, nah, that's not going to work out. If Mike was more involved, then maybe, because then that's like he's part of the same thing. Like him and the man from the other place or the arm are the same entity, basically, that split. Breadsticks, nice. What about like breadsticks from the Olive Garden? Olive Garden with that bottomless breadsticks. That's the shit right there. There's a lot of newer movies. I haven't been keeping up on newer releases this year. I have to. Oh, what do I got to do? I got to watch. Oh, what the hell is it called? Um, Until Dawn, based off the game, which I really enjoyed the game. I mean, it's been years since I played it, but I really did like it. So I want to see how the movie is. And then I still have to rewatch 28 Days and Weeks Later because I haven't seen them in forever, and I'm not a huge fan of them. The first one's great, but I've never like loved it. And then I want to rewatch those two so I can watch 28 Years Later. That's right. This is when Mark Frost's daddy and Albert get into it. Miguel Ferrer was such a great, underrated actor. It's a lot of D words right there, Albert. You're gonna watch Until Dawn also, Joe? Yeah, I've been meaning to watch it for a while. Just keep forgetting. I keep just watching other shit and forgetting. Oh yeah, that's right, Until Dawn. And then I want to see 28 Years, but I have to watch 28 Days and Weeks first because it's been so long. I would have no idea what the hell's going on in years if I just watched that one. Megan is wonderful. Yeah, the first one is a lot of fun. Sequel's fun too. I'm gonna do a review on it in the next, probably tomorrow. I'll probably have a spoiler-free review out on Megan 2.0. Yeah, I saw your comment earlier on something about that movie. I gotta look into that. It was good. I gotta check that out. The way her body looks in this is so fucking creepy. Did a good job making Cheryl Lee look dead as shit. Oh, we got Invitation to Love on the TV again. See, that's where they mention the character on Invitation to Love playing two characters. And then, what is it, the second season that we have Maddy come in? Maddy, Laura's cousin, played by Cheryl Lee. They always like follow Invitation to Love in this show, like always mirrors what's happening in Twin Peaks, the show. It's like a show within a show, which some people argue Twin Peaks is like a show within a show already. It's like showception. Oh no, Maddie's right here. That's right. Oh, that's right. Because they mentioned it on Invitation to Love, and then she shows up. I don't know why I was thinking season 2. She stays for a while though, until she gets killed. And David Lynch actually brought her and wrote the character of Maddy into this because he wanted to work with Cheryl Lee beyond her just being dead and playing the dead body of Laura. And he loved Cheryl so much, he wrote the character of her cousin Maddy in so she could come back and do some more work on the show. And then, of course, Fire Walk with Me. We got to see her really shine. I love this music so much. Some of the dreamiest music ever. And Audrey nails that description in the first episode. second episode. One of the first few. Has anyone seen Sunset Boulevard and like remembers stuff from it? Because I mentioned this in my Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me video, but I never looked it up for some reason. Chet Desmond is the character who gets sucked off, I guess, to the Black Lodge or wherever he goes. And then you have Norma Jennings here at the Double R in the show. Aren't those two the character names in Sunset Boulevard? Because I know that was Lynch's favorite movie. And I'm pretty sure Chester Desmond and Norma Jennings are like either direct names from that movie or like a mixture of names, like combining names together to make those names. Something like that. Actually, fuck it. Let's look it up right now. Sunset Boulevard. We're going down to Sunset Boulevard. Norma Desmond. Okay, so yeah, it was a combination. So I took Norma from Norma Desmond, made Norma Jennings, and took Desmond and made Chester Desmond. There's also Betty, character named Betty, which makes sense with Mulholland Drive. I knew we drew a lot of inspiration from that movie, though. Yes, Joe, this is a TV series by the great late David Lynch, who passed away earlier this year. It went for 2 seasons in the early 90s, and then had a movie, which was like a prequel. Then 25 years after it got canceled, after season 2, it came back for a third season in like 2017, I think it was. But it's one of the greatest shows ever. Norma Desmond. Okay, so that's the character from Sunset Boulevard. All the music in this show is so good. But I always forget about this one. I should do a cover of this one too. Fuck you, Mayor. Major Briggs. Trying to give Bobby shit about smoking. I love his whole character. And I mean, he says, doesn't he say Judy Garland, Major Briggs' character, like later on in season 2? I think maybe in the finale of season 2. Anytime, Jeff. What else is coming out soon? I know what you did last summer. The new one's coming out. I don't give a fuck about that movie, that series, or anything. I'll watch it though, just to see how bad it is. I think there's a lot of other things that are supposed to come out the rest by the end of the year that I can't even think of. The Strangers 2 or Chapter 2 that comes out September something, I think, sometime at the end of the year or closer to the end of the year. Which I don't know why. I mean, I don't know. I did not like the first chapter of The Strangers. I thought it was so unnecessary. No reason to do it. And you got Rennie Harlan directing. And we got what we got with that. I thought it sucked, the first chapter. Nothing that differentiates it from the original Strangers, nothing that made it original or different in any way, shape, or form. It's a complete just redo of the first movie, except it sucks. And you would not expect that with Rennie Harlan directing it. But maybe chapter 2 and 3 will up the ante and get a lot better. Who knows? I don't think so. I don't see it going that way, but you never know. Maybe they just had to do a little retread of the original for the first chapter, or then it goes off into its own story and stuff, which is what it seems like from the trailer, which I usually don't watch trailers, but that's a movie I don't care about, so I didn't care if it was spoiled a little bit, but it seems like that's what they're doing, that they're going to try to go in their own unique direction for chapter 2, which hopefully it's better than chapter 1, because that was just total, just bland remake. Nothing original, no creativity. This when Albert starts dishing all his knowledge to Cooper from the autopsy. I always thought it was, I've always loved forensic science and true crime and stuff like that. I always thought it was fascinating how they can just figure out everything, but like all the things they can find out just by, running an autopsy and just by checking certain things. It's really mind-blowing, the stuff that they can figure out. You haven't seen the original I Know What You Did Last Summer? Interesting. I don't care for it either. I never liked that movie. Never cared for it. I have a little bit of nostalgia for it because I remember when it came out, and that they always played it on TV back in the day. But it's not a good movie for me. And I just did a watch along of the sequel like a few weeks ago, randomly, for no reason. I don't know why I picked that movie. I was just like, I feel like watching something. Maybe I'll do a watch along. What movie? And then I just looked and I saw I Still Know What You Did Last Time. I said, all right, let's do that, because that's never getting the fucking video. Black Phone 2. Oh, that's right. That's coming out too. I didn't like the first one, so I'm not interested in the second one. I'll still see it though. It's like everything. That one I'm more interested to see. I liked the first one. I didn't think it was great, but I enjoyed it for what it was. And I'm sure they can expand on the second one a decent amount, because there's a lot of lore to those games. So they can do a lot of stuff and incorporate a lot of lore from the games. They can do their own stuff too. I mean, it's endless what they can do with that series. I just feel like they didn't live up to the potential they could have done with it in the first movie. But we'll see. Cooper's already looking into purchasing property in Twin Peaks. I don't blame him, man. It looks like such a nice little quaint town, except for all the weird shit that goes on. I wouldn't want to be around for that. Actually, I would want to be around for that. I would go to that lodge in a second. If a portal opened up in the woods in Twin Peaks, I'm hanging out there, hanging out in the woods, I'm walking a dog or something, and I see curtains appear in the woods, I'm absolutely going behind those curtains and checking that shit out. Then I'd get stuck in the lodge, and then who knows what happens after that. Maybe I'll turn into a teacup from like Philip Jeffries. But we shall see. Nadine, she's such a ridiculous character. She got her quiet little curtain. What's the word I'm thinking of? Drapes. That's it. The drape runners. They're all quiet now because of the oil. I don't know what he's doing with Nadine. I mean, I understand. Isn't it? It's just because he took her eye out by accident, right? That's like the only reason. I know he says it later on in the series and says it was like an accident. They were hunting or something like that. Something like that. And he's responsible, Ed, for her losing the eye. So he feels guilty as hell. And I don't blame him. But I never liked their whole marriage or relationship or anything. Him and Nadine, you just want him and Norma to get together the whole series. Child actress in Five Nights at Freddy's, Piper Rubio is Abby. I mean, yeah, she was all right in that movie. It's the only thing I know her from. I do like the scene when she like lifts Mike over her head, like in season 2 of this. She has some like weird strength stuff going on. Oh, James can't go to the funeral. I don't blame him. I didn't even recognize Audrey right there. Her hair's like all went back. Yeah, Amy should be coming on sometime in the next few weeks. I'm going upstate on the 2nd to see Scarlett, to see my daughter for the week. But last time I talked to Amy's mom last week, she said that they're in New York for the premiere. They're coming back to New Zealand on the 30th. So I said I'll message them when I get upstate on like the 2nd. And then we're going to set a date up. So sometime after the 2nd in those coming weeks of July. Yeah, it'll be fun to have her on again. I always loved shots through keyholes in movies and TV. I don't know why. It's a random thing. But this shot here, with looking through, we're seeing Jacoby, Audrey spying on him and the patient. That's cool. The Douglas fern pines. That's the trees that Cooper found out last 2 weeks ago when we watched the other 3 episodes. Cooper just has so much like just coolness radiates off of him. I love that character so much. Just him with his little tan coat and his suit and stuff. Donna's looking like Carmen San Diego with that hat. Overall, it's a nice funeral. Oh, I forgot to change the thing to fucking Twin Peaks background like last time. It's not too late. We're only into this first episode here. Which one was it? This was it. Yes, we are in the Black Lodge. Oh, James came after all to the funeral. Thank you, as always, Joseph. Oh, Pete Martell. The way that they use the score in the show is just brilliant. Every episode, they just have the perfect moments to put the main theme in there, Laura's theme, how it climbs and hits that peak and that crescendo before it comes back down. They just always nailed that with every episode, at least in the first season. Oh, there's a log lady with her log. I still don't understand that. All these years later, I'm gonna see if some more people come in that I know are Twin Peak fanatics like myself to ask more about it. But the log lady, I know she says her husband's trapped in that log she carries around, and it talks to her. I don't know anything beyond that. I know the husband died in the fire. I'm pretty sure they say. So I always just assumed that like his essence in some way got like stuck in that log, and it's her husband that she hears like things from. That's what I think. Because then they have that stupid stuff in season 2 when Josie Packard gets sucked into the draw knob, which is dumb, but it shows there that someone could get sucked into wood. And the log lady's husband, I mean, that's a piece of wood. So that's what I always guess, but I'm sure there could be a lot more to that I never put together. Because they put a lot of emphasis on the log lady in this show. Especially, I was saying 2 weeks ago when we did the first 3 episodes. With the not when they first aired, but the log lady introduction scenes that they put before the episodes when they like re-aired them, like leading up to the finale, I think is when they did that. All of those are very important and have like a lot of little hints and like keys, if you will, to a lot of like the mysteries in this show. It's so heartbreaking when Leland jumps on the coffin. Damn. They gotta raise it back up. Yeah, Ray Wise and Grace Zabriskie, right? That's how you say it. They have such amazing chemistry on the show. This show was so far ahead of its time. It's not even funny. I still think it's ahead of this time, present day. It can't start in '89. Back to the double R. With Shelly. 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 Oh, is this the Bookhouse Boys meeting? Yeah, I think so. Fresh huckleberry pie. I've never had huckleberry pie. No, I'm not a Marvel fan at all, Joe. I've never gotten into any of those superhero movies. Like maybe like anything that I grew up with, like from the late '80s or the '80s to like the '90s, like the early, like the Tim Burton Batman movies. I like, but I haven't seen any of these movies or watched them in who knows how many years, probably 10, 15 years. But Tim Burton's Batman films, I always liked. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, I enjoy. The earlier X-Men films, that's basically it. Like, I've never been a superhero person. I've never been a Marvel, DC person. And aside from those few movies there, yeah, that's something I just never got into, really. Um, oh, you watched Euro Trip? Yeah, isn't that funny? That's such a great movie. That's such an underrated comedy. And yeah, Michelle Trachtenberg is great in that. Rest in peace for her again. That's crazy. I can't believe she passed away. This must be where pies go when they die. That's a great line. He tells Cooper, go along with him on this, even if it sounds weird. Yeah, when I was a kid, she was like the same age as me almost, or around the same age. So when I was growing up, whenever she did Harriet the Spy, I was her age when she did it. Then I saw her on Pete and Pete on Nickelodeon because I used to watch Nickelodeon as a kid in the early 90s, mid 90s, and everything else that she did basically. I like saw her whole career, like from beginning to end. Shell Shack, how old is she? She was 3 years older than me, a little less than that. So yeah, as soon as she started like doing Harriet the Spy is when I was watching that movie and saying, "Oh, how's it going?" I can't believe she passed away though. Hey, Katie, how are you? Good to see you. How you doing? Everyone's saying hi. That's good. Happy weekend, Katie. I feel like it's been forever since I've seen your name pop up. It's great to see you. We are on episode 4 of Twin Peaks, near the end. And we got 5 and 6. Oh, this that other guy. The guy who sold drugs to Laura. Because the next one, I think Mike, the one-armed man, comes in. I think it's episode 5. Oh, good to hear. Always good to see you, Katie. What's up, Synth? How you doing, buddy? You can hop on if you want, Synth. I don't know what you're doing, but I forgot to hit you up. Like earlier today, I was going to ask if you wanted to hop on for this. Happy weekend, Katie. Oh, it was? Happy birthday, Katie. I hope you had a great birthday. What do you do? Anything fun? Hopefully. There we go. Happy birthday, Katie, Joe says, with a birthday cake. Oh, that's awesome, Katie. I can never remember this guy's name who plays Leo. Always Eric de something. I always forget. And it's not like a hard name to remember or anything. Joseph just hung out with family and friends. That's a fun, good birthday to me. It was okay. Good. Good to hear. You still down in Florida? How's the weather been? It's been hot as shit up here. The last 2 days haven't been that bad. They've been a lot cooler, but we had like a mild, I don't want to say heat wave, but like 5 days in a row almost that were just hotter and hotter. And my air conditioner fucking conked out like on the second day of that little run of heat. I said, oh God. Yeah, I can imagine. Every time I've ever been to Florida, so the humidity, that's what it is. It's the humidity. because California, when I went last year and went to Mexico, I stopped in California first, flew in there. It's so dry. Like, it's just like a dry heat. Yeah, I forgot. Your birthday is 2 days after mine, Joe. There's a lot of birthdays in our community in September and in October too. But yeah, I'm on the 20th, and then pretty sure Nanette's birthday is early September, and there's like 5 other people too that I can't think of off the top of my head. Seasons. I've heard of that. You've heard the stories, right? The legends. I've heard tales. Yeah, they are a thing. It's changed over my life. Like, not the seasons, they're still the same shit. But like my preference for things. I used to love being hot and hate the cold. I still don't love the cold, like when it's really cold, but now I don't like being hot. Like when I was younger, I used to. Now I need an air conditioner. Even like in the fucking winter time, I'll have the AC on a little bit. Sorry, I've not been around much. I've just been doing a lot of stuff. Mark passed away. Really? Oh my god, I did not know. I'm gonna message you actually tomorrow, actually, because this is gonna end late. If you're up, we'll talk then. But I want to talk to you. It's been a while anyway. But oh my god, I had no idea. That's crazy. I'm so sorry. And don't apologize. Are you fucking serious? I know you hate that word. Sorry for that. As I tell you not to apologize, but don't apologize for anything. Everybody, wanders in and out, has their own shit going on. Happens all the time. Yeah, I know. I'll message you. I'm gonna message you when I end this later. I might like the show, JT. Watch it. To me, it's one of the greatest shows ever. All right, cool. Hold on. I'll drop it in the chat here. Just copy it. And just hop on whenever you're ready. Take your time if you have to. We got 2 more episodes. Yeah, Katie, you're a Twin Peaks fan. I asked Jamie to join me, but she said she'll try to stop by, but she wasn't feeling well today. She was in the chat hanging out for the first 3 episodes 2 weeks ago when I started this, which this will probably take 3 episodes if I do 3 like I've been doing every 2 weeks. We'll be done with season 1 2 weeks from now. Then there's 22 episodes in season 2 or 21 or something like that. So we'll get to the return in like 2 months, a month and a half, something like that. Dave, yes, he was, man. I think of Dave every day, actually. Still think of him. Probably always will. Can't believe it's been over a year, actually. I asked Gareth and a few others if they wanted to do like a stream, like just like a Dave celebration stream, but then we just kind of shit happened in life for all of us, and we just never talked about it again. But I can't believe it's been a year. A little over that. It's been like a year and a month. That's nuts. Right, Katie? Like, that is a year. It's like, wow. I can't believe it's been that long. That's how quick it all goes. I mean, I'm going upstate on the 2nd. I can't believe Scarlett's is 11. She's going to be 12 in February. It's like, where the hell did all that time go? I remember she was just like in my arms, the tiniest little thing. He is. He is. I'm not a religious person. I don't believe in heaven and all that, but I do believe that we're all connected and that everything in the universe is connected and that nothing truly dies or ends. I mean, it's pretty much like physics. And like Einstein says, like, energy that's created can't be destroyed. So I'm pretty sure we all live on in some way. Maybe we live among the stars. Maybe it's very Twin Peak-esque. Maybe David Lynch knew exactly what the fuck was going on the whole time. Maybe you go to the White Lodge. Or if you're bad and naughty, you end up in this shit here in the Black Lodge. Which still seems pretty cool because there is a midget. And he sings. The Land of the Dead. Is that where Laura is? Land of the Dead. That just made me think of Land of the Dead. And I keep saying for the last year or so, I got to rewatch that trilogy, The Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, and Survival of the Dead. It's been a long time since I've seen Land, and especially Survival. Diary I rewatched like a year ago. How was my day? You were playing Roblox? Nice. My daughter plays that shit. That's like her new thing. The last like year and a half, 2 years. I don't know what the hell Roblox is. I've looked into it. I've seen a video or two. I watch her play it. I don't know what the hell it is though. I couldn't tell you what that game's about. I mean, she liked Minecraft for a little bit, and then she kind of just moved on from that really fast. But that's like the one game that she's like obsessed with now. I got her into playing video games. Her mom didn't get her into any of that. I had my daughter playing Sonic 2 and Sonic 1, Sonic and Knuckles, Mario 2 and 3, 64 at like 4 years old or so is when I started when she started playing video games for the first time. Your nephew plays Roblox? Yeah. I mean, it's a very popular game. I just don't really know anything about it. Looking forward to playing. Yeah, when that eventually comes. I think next year, right? Is when it's supposed to come out. GTA 6. It's going to be bigger than life the way that it's all blown up and overhyped and all these years. It's not going to meet people's expectations and their hype. All right, that's season 4. Moving on to season 5. Well, season 5, episode 5, and episode 4. Not season. You know what I meant. Classic games of culture, I see. Of course, you got to start them with those. And those were, ironically, not really, those are the games I started playing video games around the same age, like 3-4 years old, and it was Mario, Sonic 2, like all the franchise of those two from the early ones. Zombies Ate My Neighbors, which is still a favorite game of mine to date. I fucking love that game. They should have made a movie based on it, was where I was going with that. I always wish they made a Zombies Ate My Neighbors movie based off that game. They never did. But yeah, that's what it seems like, right? Because every time I see her playing on her phone and stuff, which is always when I try to, no phone for now and stuff later on and try to monitor like her phone time a bit when I'm with her, but then she'll like try bribing and stuff like that. Like, oh, if I do this and like I get my phone for like just 20 minutes, but like I see her play it every now and then, and it looks like it's different games and stuff. It's not like one gameplay loop or anything. So I guess that keeps it interesting. Hey, Paula. Happy weekend. How you doing? Yeah, I've been on and off my whole life. Like, I mean, I started when I was like 3 or 4 playing video games. Had a SNES, an NES, Genesis, Sega Saturn eventually when that came out. Dreamcast, which was so underrated, and I still love that system. I still have my Dreamcast. That's like the only console I have, like an old console that I hung on to. I don't really have any games for it, and it don't work, so I don't know why I still have it, but I never got rid of that. Loved the Dreamcast. GameCube I never had, and 64 I had the day it came out, actually. But the GameCube I never got into. PlayStation, I had the original. Then there was like a period where I didn't play for like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years where I just didn't really play anything. And so I never had a PS2 or a PS3, but I had the original Xbox. Then I kind of didn't play for a few years until Xbox 360 came out. Then I kind of picked it up again. Then after Xbox 360 was out for a bit, I stopped playing again for a little bit, and then kind of been on and off back at it since. Everyone's saying hi to Paula. Hi, Brian. From Albuquerque, New Mexico. You love movies? We love movies. And in this case, TV. And many other cases. Good to see you, man. Welcome. Are you a Twin Peaks fan? David Lynch fan? Oh, here's Invitation to Love again. You don't see the Invitation to Love show throughout season 2, if I remember right. Maybe here and there, like at the beginning of it, but I'm pretty sure they abandoned that, like going deeper into season 2. You still have the GameCube? That was one of the few systems I didn't get. That was like in the middle of like the gap where I took a few years off of playing. Because I had the original right when the original Xbox came out. Maybe like a year or two after that, whenever like San Andreas came out, right after that was around when I stopped playing. Then when the 360 came out is when I got back into it. Because I didn't have a PS3. Then that's when Dark Souls came out, basically. It was 2011. Because I didn't have a PS3 for Demon Souls. I knew Dark Souls was coming out on all consoles. And I think that's not why I got a 360. I had one already, but that's kind of what sucked me back into gaming. Now we got Dr. Jacoby talking with Cooper. He's asking, is there a hula we can do around my doctor-patient confidentiality? That's funny. One sec. I love Jacoby's whole look, too, with the dual-colored glasses, the red and the blue. Just like many things in the show, duality and seeing two of everything. Just like Laura. Then we have our cousin Maddy, who looks just like her. She just showed up last episode. Lilo and Stitch, the live action thing, Joe. Yeah, I never cared for Lilo and Stitch or anything like that. I have no interest in seeing that. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I've heard a few people that liked it, that saw it. Laura had secrets. Yes, she did. She had a shit ton of them. I just read something the other day that Mark Frost wrote, saying about like the possibility of a season 4 of Twin Peaks, and that him and David Lynch talked about it, and it was very early talks about possibly doing a continuation, doing another season, but they were open to the idea. But then, Lynch's health got worse and then he passed away, obviously. But I'm curious, as I'm sure all Twin Peaks fans are, of where they would have went with the season 4. I kind of like how season 3 ended everything. I think the return was like the best television experience probably ever for me watching, with Breaking Bad. Like that series too, as that unfolded. Sopranos too. But for just like one season of television, the return was just unbelievable. I got to remember to look that up too, because I forgot about that from 2 weeks ago when I asked this about Michael Onkeen, Sheriff Truman, in this, why he didn't come back for the return. I know he stopped acting like years prior to the returns being a thing. But I wonder if they asked him and if he just turned it down, or if, I don't know, if there was any other reason for him not returning besides just not acting anymore. I'm glad we got Robert Forster as his brother. You heard someone, Alex Scary said that? You might get a Halloween the game. There was a Halloween game, like on the Atari or a Nintendo, like original Nintendo, something like that. It wasn't good at all, but there was a game, Halloween the game. Just like there was a Friday the 13th game on and Nintendo, regular Nintendo, right? And yes, that sucked too. I mean, it was fun. It was fun back then, but mostly sucked. I don't know if they ever made, well, because when Atari and Nintendo, there were so many people making games independently, and just, like unofficial games and stuff that were being sold, and like a black market for them. So there were games that were getting made that shouldn't have been made, that didn't have the rights and stuff like that. I don't know if they ever made a Nightmare on Elm Street game back then, but I know Friday and Halloween both had games for either Atari or 60, or I keep wanting to say 64, Nintendo, regular NES, one or the other. I know Friday was on the NES. I don't know about Halloween. LGN did on NES. Okay. Do you know about a Nightmare game? Is that what you're talking about? That they did one for NES? Because I want to say that there was a Nightmare game that came out back then. But again, like the other two, it sucked if there was. Okay, all right. Yeah, I see. So yeah, they made both the Friday the 13th game and the Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay, that makes sense. I can't for the life of me remember or picture what the Nightmare game was like, or like a gameplay loop or anything in my head. It's kind of based on Nightmare 3. Okay, that's interesting. That's my third favorite, probably, in the series. That's the last movie I love in that franchise. I'm not a big Nightmare on Elm Street fan, outside of the first 3 movies and Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I love the first movie's a classic. The second's my favorite. And then 3 is great. I used to like 3 more than 2 growing up. And it makes sense because it's a very, like, there's whimsical stuff in 3, like with their superpowers, their dream powers and stuff. One's the superhero or the wizard, with that, whatever that dumb shit is. I mean, that appeals more to a kid, so it makes sense. And then over the years, I realized just how great 2 is. And fuck all the stupid, oh, it's gay and stuff. It's the gay nightmare, all that stupid critique. And then I don't really care for 4. It's whatever. 5's whatever. Freddy's Dead is whatever too. I mean, they're all not that great after 3, except for Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I think that one's excellent. And the remake sucks terribly. Here's the one-arm man, Mike. He did a good job too with the effect of his arm. Unless did he not have an arm? I don't remember if the actor did that one. Pretty sure he did. Scarefest? Oh yeah. Are you going this year? Because I know you were supposed to go last year, right? And you couldn't get there. So that'll be fun. There's a convention, the one in Jersey I went to last year. They're doing another in September, I think. I'm gonna try to get another press pass for that and go to that one. Philip Gerard. Parents are working something out so I can go to Scarefest this October. Nice. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun, man. Now they're investigating the one-armed man. No warrants, no arrests. He seems squeaky clean. Now he didn't get I always forget, like the timelines and shit. He didn't get. No, that's when he gets shot at the end of season 8. When he gets the clues from the giant or the fireman. And says without chemicals he points and about the smiling black bag and stuff. That's in the last episode of the season. That's right. That's because then that leads him to not give this guy his medication, and that's what lets Mike out of Gerard's body. So to say. It's so hard to describe this fucking show and what's going on in it. Oh, that's right. Then we have this whole little subplot thing with Josie Packard spying on Ben Horn and so many goddamn names in this show. Piper Laurie's character. Why can't I think of her fucking name? I'm going to hear Jack Nance say it in my head. But the two of them, they're having a thing. They're fucking each other, and Josie's spying on them. I like Donna and Audrey's relationship in this show. They're not like good friends. Like before Laura died, even they weren't close. They didn't seem to be like good friends or anything. And they don't really become that close as the show goes on, which I like. They could have easily made them besties and hanging out together and everything every episode. They don't do that. They just kind of keep their relationship the same that it always seemed to have been. You want to meet Danielle Harris? I know you do, buddy. And someone will take me to Scarefest. Yeah, Scarefest will be a blast. Hopefully you get to go this year because I know you were looking forward to it last year. I love how Audrey's just chilling, smoking a cigarette in the bathroom at the school here. I really want to know why Lara Flynn Boyle didn't come back for Fire Walk with Me. I think it was a dispute over money, from what I remember, like reading years ago. Because I don't like recasts or anything like that, and the continuity is huge. Like, to me, I always pay attention to that, and it bothers me when movies and series fuck with continuity and recast actors. But I don't mind it in Fire Walk with Me with Moira Kelly playing Donna. I always wonder why. I'm pretty sure it was a money thing. Why Lara Flynn Boyle didn't come back. Let me see. I'm sure it says it on Wikipedia. I know Kyle MacLachlan didn't want to be like the focus of Fire Walk with Me, so he wanted like a smaller role. That's why they went with the whole Chester Desmond thing for the opening. Half hour or so, I think, until Cooper arrives. It doesn't say. It just says Lara Flynn Boyle's character was recast from Moira Kelly. That's it. I mean, I'm sure it says it somewhere, but I'm not fucking looking at it right now. I'm pretty sure it was a money thing. She wanted more money and said, all right, we'll just cast somebody else. Oh, now we got Hank, right? Hank Jennings, Norma's husband. He's going on for probation or parole hearing. Catherine. That's Piper Laurie's character from earlier. I couldn't remember her name. Catherine. And I did hear Pete Martell say it in my head. Catherine. This guy's trying to rationalize what happened and stuff. This is a vagrant that nobody knows was killed. He's trying to make it like, all right, nobody knew him, so it's okay. He died. Guy's so fucked up, Hank. Terrible, man. No worries. Just this vagrant died. And she's giving him a job at the Double R. I don't like his whole character. I don't like anything to do with Hank in this show. But he's the one that shoots Leo, right? I think that's, yeah. He shoots Leo. Before, yeah, because Leo has that axe and he's going to try to kill Bobby. And then he shows up and shoots Leo. Does my daughter like Disney movies or just horror? She doesn't like horror really much. She hasn't really watched a lot. I made her watch. Well, I didn't make her, but we watched Megan when that was her first horror movie, basically, and she wasn't fully into it. She was maybe, whenever Megan was on screen, she would look over and you could tell like she was fixated on it. She was paying attention, but then like when times in scenes where it was just the adult characters talking and stuff, her attention would drift away. But she liked it, but nothing that she really cared to see again. But never really watched another horror movie. Like, she's not really into scary movies yet. I'll keep trying. But Titanic, I said in some stream, she was surprisingly able to watch all 3 hours of that. She really enjoyed Titanic. It took her like maybe 25, 30 minutes to get into it. And then by then, like, her attention was fully on the film. She was like asking questions and stuff, and like, oh, when this happened in real life, did this happen? This happened, this, and she made it the whole 3 hours. SpongeBob, though, is what she always watches. SpongeBob is, yeah, I don't think she don't like Drake and Josh, but she loves SpongeBob. That's all she watches from 7 years old or so, less, maybe younger, probably 5, 6 years old. My daughter started watching SpongeBob, but she hasn't stopped watching SpongeBob since, and she's 11 and a half. That's one of the only shows she watches. That and The Loud House. She doesn't really watch that much anymore, but a few years ago, she used to watch that for a few years on Nickelodeon, I think it is too. She liked Paw Patrol when she was younger, and like a few other shows, but like that's it. Like SpongeBob is all the time. Every month, every time I see her, every morning, she's got SpongeBob. It's the first thing that she puts on. Wakes up for breakfast, SpongeBob goes on, and I hear SpongeBob all day long, every day. She'll just leave it on in the background too. Yes. When's that come out? Stranger Things season 5. I really don't care about it. Like, I I I like the show. I like the first few seasons. I don't think I ever, like I said before to you once, I don't think I ever finished the last few episodes of season 4. I think I did actually. Yeah, I did, because then what's his name? The main guy. I don't even know his fucking character's name. The main guy. He ends up in like Russia or something like that, and that's how it ends. And then now we got season 5, right? Or is that season 3? Yeah, that's season 4 at the end of it. November 26th comes out. That's going to be a big show for them to let go. That's like the only show on Netflix that they didn't cancel past like the 3rd season. That's just something Netflix loves doing. Canceling a show 3rd season, you're done. I was so mad when they canceled Santa Clarita Diet. That was the show that made me furious with Netflix. I think I canceled it for a little bit. And then I realized, what the fuck's that going to do? Nothing. We're not getting the show back. Might as well get Netflix back. But I got so mad because I loved Santa Clarita Diet. That was such a great show. And the way it ended was not satisfying. It wasn't satisfying at all. Oh, they're doing that whole bullshit when they split it up into 3 now. They're doing 3 different volumes. So you get volume 1 on November 26th, volume 2 will be on Christmas, and volume 3 will be on. Oh, that's not bad then. That I thought you meant like split it up like half a season, and then like 5-6 months later another half. I would say, all right, that's kind of getting overdone. A lot of series do that. That's not bad at all. You just got a month basically between them, a little over. Be over 2 hours and 30 minutes long. The finale. Okay. How many episodes? Did they say how many episodes are in season 5? When that comes out, that's a show that I'll just, again, I never loved it. So I'm not going to rewatch. Sometimes, like if a new season comes out of a show, I'll rewatch the first few seasons if I can, if it's like short enough, like condensed enough. I wouldn't do that for Stranger Things. I would just watch season 5 or watch whatever recap they put up, which I'm sure will be like a few minute recap. Watch it and then move on with my life. Only 8 episodes. All right. I forget how many episodes are in the other seasons. Was it like 10 or at least 10? But man, when Santa Clarita Diet got canceled, I was so mad. That's such a great show. If anyone hasn't seen that show on Netflix with Drew Barrymore and Timothy Olyphant, check that show out. It is so funny. One of the best horror comedy shows in recent memory for me. Like the best in recent memory. One of the best, like completely. It's such a great show. Drew Barrymore's character is married to Timothy Olyphant's character, and they have a daughter, Abby, and she ends up getting sick and turning into a zombie, basically. Like, she dies, but she comes back. And they try to figure out what's happening to her and if there's a cure, and then other people start getting infected and stuff. It's so funny. It's so well written. And then they canceled it after the third season, like every other fucking Netflix original they have, except for Stranger Things. Have to watch Squid Game. Yeah, Squid Game was really good. The first season, at least. That's all I saw of it. I think they did more, right? Could they do another season? Or like a few more? I don't really watch much on Netflix. The only thing I watch on Netflix are like Arrested Development, which is my favorite comedy show of all time. If I'm in the mood to watch that, then I'll throw Netflix on. Or any type of Asian horror, because Netflix does a lot of distribution for Asian horror movies. So that's like the one thing I really use Netflix for, horror-wise. And if they have some movie on there, their horror catalog is not great. They never have had a good catalog for horror on Netflix. They have maybe a dozen titles of classic movies, and then some newer ones, and then they have Netflix original stuff, which is rarely good. And then they have a lot of the foreign films, which I think is like where Netflix excels at. It's distributing all those foreign horror films. Yeah, I know. Horror is all of our things here. Part poodle, part Rottweiler. Lucy is so funny in this show. We were saying 2 weeks ago on the first stream of this, I don't think she did anything really after this, except for The Return. But she's so funny. Not a fan of K-dramas? Not really. One thing I never got into is the Japanese mangas and stuff like that, which a lot of people have given me shit for my entire life. Friends of mine that are in anime, so never got into anime, mangas, or anything. Is that how you even say it? It's manga or is it manga? Probably manga. I've been saying like a dumbass for my entire life, but never liked any of that. I've seen, but I haven't explored it really. I just like, I've seen some things here and there. I had friends, a few friends who were big into all that Japanese shit, and like hardcore into it. And they always would say, "You should check this out, this out." I've checked one or two out over a few years. Akira, isn't that like a famous one? Because that one I saw. That's a pretty good movie. That animated film. Um, you haven't seen Cobra Kai? Cobra Kai is all right. I mean, I haven't. Did I see the last season? What was the last season? How many seasons is that up to? I think I saw the first four, maybe five, possibly. If they just release a season and it's like season 6, then I saw the first 5. If they're only up to 5, then I saw the first 4. And I've always been a fan of the Karate Kid movies, not the remake. But and not really the next Karate Kid either, even though I did watch that growing up and I have a little bit of nostalgia for it. But the first 3 Karate Kids, especially. And I took karate from 6 years old to 16 years old. So I always liked those films. And I really liked Cobra Kai, the first few seasons. I think it's gone way downhill with the last few seasons. but it's a fun show. Absolutely. Make anime. Make anime. Japanimation again. That's funny. I mean, like, I watched Pokemon back in the day when it first started. That's kind of anime-ish, right? So that counts. Supernatural. I never watched that show. I've heard good things about it. I know people who like it. Oh, here's Maddie Ferguson, the cousin of Laura Palmer. Laura Palmer. Something about Cheryl Lee's eyes. They're so gorgeous. They're like, they captivate you. Maybe I'll do a video on Twin Peaks: The Missing Pieces, the Fire Walk with Me deleted scenes and stuff. I was saying I have to do that, but maybe I'll do it soon. I got a lot of shit I got to do, actually. Now that I got my laptop working again and got the charger, I got to do Feast 2 and 3 and Poltergeist 3. That's it. Actually, that's it. Oh, it's not much. So maybe I can get to that. Maybe in the next 2 weeks or so. Because I'm going upstate on the 2nd. So that might slow output of videos out a little bit. But I'll be doing a few live streams while we're up there. But I want to do Twin Peaks: The Missing Pieces and Megan 2.0. I'll have a review out for that. That tomorrow I'll have a review out because that'll be spoiler free. Oh, Hank got paroled. He's coming home to Norma. My favorite Final Destination movies are Final Destination Bloodline. That's your favorite. That's cool. I don't care for it. That's nowhere near my favorite, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, that scene was very touching. That whole scene was like, I got teary-eyed watching that. Just having him speak from the heart and speak to the fans basically and say goodbye. Like, yeah, that was a beautiful scene. And I'm a big fan of the whole franchise, but 6 was like on par with 4 for me as like the worst. Still fun, still had good scenes, but 2 is my favorite by far. Then 1 right behind it. Then 3, 5, then 4 and 6 are pretty much tied. 6 went up a bit since I watched it. Like, as I thought about it more, I was originally putting it right under 4 as last place, but now it's kind of tied with 4. So yeah, I do want to do a video on the missing pieces. So it'll be Feast 2, Megan 2.0 tomorrow, spoiler free. And then we have the interview with Brian Usna on Monday, which I cannot wait for. Cannot wait to talk with Brian Usna. He is the director of Society from 1989, which is a favorite movie of mine. I mean, that movie is so insane. And he also helped produce Reanimator and From Beyond, Dolls, all with Charles Band, obviously, of Empire. And then he went on and directed Society. Then he did The Dentist 2, he did Bride of Reanimator, Back to Reanimator, or it's not Back to Reanimator, right? What the hell is it? Beyond Reanimator. He produced Dagon. He didn't direct it, but he produced it. So many. Return of the Living Dead 3, which I'm not a fan of that whole series. That's actually shit. Thanks for reminding me myself, because that's something I need to watch before Monday, because I want to talk to him about Night of Return of the Living Dead 3. But I don't remember that movie at all if I saw it, and I don't remember if I saw it. because I don't care for the first two in that series. I don't care for any of those Return of the Living Dead movies. Never did. I know I saw the first two, and the third one's art, like the box art back in the day, is so iconic. So I know that I know the box art and artwork. I just can't remember if I ever saw it. Oh, thank you, Paul. I love you too. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. What about the brothers? They just say sisters in that song. Terrible. Audrey's talking with her father. That same green office lamp is in every fucking office back in the day, in the 90s. That little green lamp, you see it in every movie, everything that has an office location or a desk that has a lamp on it. In that time period, it's all that same green lamp. You see that lamp in a million movies. And it was all over the place back then. Oh, Gordon Cole's on the phone for Cooper. Oh, this is when they find out about the parrot. I think it does parrot what Laura was saying. Minor bird. That's it. Waldo is the name of the bird. Thank you, Joseph. Speaking of aliens, I was just watching some documentary or whatever late last night, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and then the ancient aliens dude was on from the History Channel, and I can't stand that show. And that man, and then they always have the narrator say the same shit every single episode. So I don't watch. It's not the only reason I don't watch it, but the narration is always just the same way, and they always have some bizarre theory, and then they'll start saying, was this temple built by the old people of Egypt, or were they helped with the assistance of alien beings? And then it just leaves it. Then the guy starts talking with the hair, and he starts going on some weird ass theory on the aliens and shit. And I'm an aliens guy. I believe in them. There's a lot. I love all that stuff. But all the ancient alien show, like, and that dude, I always forget his name. Way too much for me. I have to listen to myself, Richie. I don't let no one make me delete my channel, but I want to keep pushing. Well, I mean, you did because you have a new one again. But from now on, yeah, for sure. Donna, just keep on doing. I mean, I don't know it's not really a dream type thing. I mean, it's a dream to do it, sure. Trust me, it's not that great. Like from me speaking, it's just a fun time. It's not like something I would want to do like as a career. Yeah, right. It's just I don't know, something about that show and something about that guy. It's like George Pakalakis or like something like that. He's Greek, I think. Everything is like that's the type of person. Those are the type of shows that make actual, like actual serious ufologists and paranormal researchers and stuff look stupid. Is people like that, the ancient aliens do. Because like the Y-Files and stuff, I love that channel. That's my new favorite channel for a while now, for a year plus. I fucking love that show so much. That's like the only channel big channel that has millions of subscribers that I watch like consistently all the time. I'll throw that shit on to sleep. Like some nights they have like a 24/7 live stream now on the Backstage channel. So it just plays episodes on a loop like nonstop. But I like that channel because he doesn't just give you cherry picked stuff and cherry picked the details for the story like a lot of channels do, and make it seem as convincing as possible, like, oh, this is all real, and doesn't try to refute it in any way. That's why I love that channel, because AJ, the guy who runs the Y-Files, he is always trying to debunk everything. He's a skeptic who wants to believe, which is how I always felt. And he always ends the episode with debunking everything, or as much and close to everything as he can, which is usually almost everything, except for like a handful of topics. But that's what I really like about it. It's not just someone spitting all the crazy theories out and bringing and talking about eyewitness reports and stuff and whistleblowers, and then just paints the picture. This is definitely real. He paints that picture as he tells the story, like the first half of the episode or more, so longer than that. But then it's a running gag now. He says, is it true? Then he starts breaking it down and debunking it, which I really like that, because that's how you have to look at things like that. Aliens and different dimensions and cryptids and all that type of stuff. You have to be as skeptical as can be, because there's no proof for any of it. I mean, aliens, there are some things that I think are very compelling, certain cases and incidents. And I mean, I don't know how much proof you can call any of it, but for Bigfoot, like, I used to believe in Bigfoot. I used to hope maybe there was one out there. I don't think there's a Bigfoot. I mean, we haven't found a single body. We haven't found Bigfoot shit, even nothing. Any type of hair has all been attributed to some other animal, some known animal. So I really don't think there's a Bigfoot. Small Town Monsters has a bunch of great stuff. Area 52 is a great YouTube channel. I've heard of that one, actually. The latter one, Area 52. You're heading to bed? All right, Joe. Have a good night, man. Take care, buddy. I still have to watch movies I've never seen. Yeah, me too. We all do. There's a ton of them out there. Have a great night, man. But yeah, I love all that stuff. Time travel and ancient civilizations, cryptids. But all the cryptids are hard. Like, there's no proof for any of them. Loch Ness Monster. I mean, I used to like that too. Be interested in that. Think maybe. I don't think there's that one. I think there's more to it than Bigfoot. Like the Loch Ness Monster, I think there's something in Lake Loch Ness that we just don't know what it is, and there's just something big that shouldn't be that big there. But I don't know if it's a fucking plesiosaurus, like looking dinosaur or whatever. But I think there might be something in Loch Ness that people are seeing all these years. I don't think it's just nothing. And same with the Mothman, which early on in the channel, I did like a 5-part documentary, quote unquote, on the Mothman. I never finished it. There was still like one episode I was supposed to do, and like I wanted to end it with the Mothman prophecies, like a deep dive on that film. Maybe I'll go back and do that eventually. I'll like just do the deep dive on the movie and tie it into that old thing. The Mothman is very interesting, though. That one, there's it's a lot of eyewitnesses, a lot of accounts of people that all saw the same thing within a span of like 30 days before the bridge collapsed. That's one I really am interested in and always have been. Aliens and cryptids and all that stuff is like the North American version of the fairies and trolls of the old. Yeah, exactly. Even the bullshit stories are still fun to hear. Absolutely. That's what I love about any of those type of channels. Just hearing the stories, and if they're good at telling a story and painting a picture and stuff, awesome. Like, I can listen to that type of stuff all night long. Time travel especially. I really have a soft spot for time travel stories. And there's some good ones out there too. That's the end of episode 5. All right, we got episode 6, last episode. Yeah, there's a lot of good time travel stories, and the Y-Files has done a good amount of them with the man from Torred, the old legend, the guy who got stopped in a Japanese airport, and he had a passport for a country that didn't exist, for Torred. And he had all the credentials and everything, and he was just in that airport twice a few months before that, and he was getting agitated because they're saying to him and stuff, this country doesn't exist. And he's saying, I'm from Torrid. It's been around for 1,000 years. And so they, all right, let's settle this. They bring him into a room and they say, point out Torrid on the map. So he goes like frustrated and he starts pointing. He points right to, and it's some other place. There's no Torrid there. And then they end up taking him. They take his belongings and his documents and stuff. And he has his passport has, it's stamped all over, all different countries. His story checks out. He had a reservation at a hotel. There's no one under that name, so they didn't make a reservation. So they keep this guy in a room overnight. He only orders room service that comes and drops food off. There's 2 armed guards that are watching the room the entire night. The next morning, the guy disappears. Then they go to find his documents, which were in a locked room in the airport, whatever, and they're gone. And the guy just disappeared. So the myth is that he was from another timeline or something, and he slipped into ours. And then during the night when they had him on ice, locked up in the hotel room, while they figured it out, he must have slipped back into his own timeline. Which all of that is debunked, which was all linked back to some story from the 40s that was in like a weird science and weird incidents type book. So that one was thoroughly debunked. You have the one with John Titor. That's probably one of the most well-known time travel stories because it was on Art Bell back in the day. John Titor, he was like he was supposed to be a time traveler from the future, and he called into Art Bell, and then he was chatting with people on the message boards, on some message board, time travel message board. And he knew his shit about physics and knew his shit about time travel and how it would work. And the science all made sense. Then ended up, I think it was like some dude who ended up like making it, who made a game. And he had a lot of background in like software and in like physics. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I was letting this tangent go on as long as it goes, because it all ties into this. It has all of that. It has time travel in a way, different timelines, and spirits or entities. And in a way, you can look at that as aliens or interdimensional beings. I mean, it has all of that mystery. And that's one of the things that instantly drew me into the show and into Lynch in general. I mean, I'll never forget the first time I saw Eraserhead. That shit was crazy. The first time I saw that movie, I'll never forget it. It's just one of those films that you watch for the first time and you're like, geez, man, what the hell was this? But like in the greatest way possible. You're just watching it and just like, this is like the most captivating, interesting thing, and I have no clue what's going on. Mulholland Drive is my favorite Lynch film. I got to do more Lynch videos. Well, that's why I have been doing and keep doing these Twin Peaks things, because I wanted to do more Lynch, but that's more Twin Peaks. I got to do more of his movies too. Because I did Eraserhead. I did like an hour-long breakdown of my theories on Eraserhead. Like in the first year of the channel or so. That was hard. That was so hard. Talking and breaking down like the meanings and stuff and the symbolism in Eraserhead. And I remember it was like 1, 2 a.m. that I watched it. And then I started recording at like 3, 4 in the morning. So it was like the worst time ever to try to like break down Eraserhead. But it worked out because it's a great time to watch Eraserhead. 12, 1, 2 in the morning. But that was a decent attempt to trying to break that movie down. And then Mulholland Drive's my favorite from him, so I did that. I did a video on that. Then Fire Walk with Me. That's it. I got to do Blue Velvet. I got to do so many movies. Inland Empire, Lost Highway. I love how the show is split. The first half during the day, it is, melodrama, quirky cop show. As soon as yep, that's so true, and something I've always loved about it too. It's just, and that's something that's missing from season 3, and that's The Return, and that's something that I know a few people didn't care for about it. It's just how Lynch it was, The Return, and that it didn't have that goofy lightheartedness to it. But I think that was part of the point, was that it's 25 years later, and Twin Peaks, the town, has became and descended into this, like, evil has been prevailing, basically. Because you see a lot of scenes in The Return that show that the town has gone to shit, Twin Peaks. The drugs are rampant, like, all throughout the town, which, it was back then too, but not like it is in The Return. Then you see the kid get hit by Richard Horn. He kills the kid and keeps on driving, and there's just like catastrophes and tragedies happening all over the town by the point of The Return. So it makes sense that that's why it's more surreal, and it's that lighthearted goofiness and soap opera-esque feel to it isn't there. But I do know people who didn't care for The Return because of that. Because they said it didn't feel like Twin Peaks because it didn't have that aspects to it, those aspects. Which didn't bother me. I mean, I was waiting to see like a full-on Lynch balls to the wall, continuation of Twin Peaks. And that's exactly what we got. Not that I don't love Mark Frost and his contributions to the show and creating it and everything with Lynch, but of course, as Lynch is one of my favorite directors, I'm going to want to see fucking Lynch doing it by himself and doing as tripped out and crazy as he can go. The picture of Leo Johnson's truck. I like how Leo's involved in some way from very early on, but he didn't really do anything. I mean, he didn't, play a role in directly killing Laura's, right? He fucked up big. I mean, just having that whole night planned and everything he did to her and stuff before she ran away. But they give you that little subplot and like character to cling on to early on. Say, oh, Leo, like this guy definitely had something to do with it, and he did. Because Lynch said all the time, once they ended the mystery of who killed Laura Palmer, that's when everything was sucked out of the show for him, and that's when he kind of went his own way. He didn't have anything really to do with season 2. After maybe like, I forget how long he stayed around. I don't think it was long after like the first few episodes. After the 7th or 8th episode is where the mystery is revealed and the answer is revealed with Bob and who he's inside. After that, I think is where Lynch just distanced himself from the show, and it shows 100%. It's still fun. I love this show through and through, all 3 seasons. But I mean, season 2 has so many flaws to it, but it's still fun and enjoyable and weird. It does land some things. It tries to do some things differently that work, and then it tries doing some weird stuff that doesn't work. Like Josie Packer getting sucked into the wood draw. That's stupid as shit. I don't get that. But I think that might be why, like I was saying earlier, I think that has to do maybe with the log woman and why her log speaks to her, that it's possibly her husband stuck in the wood, because that Josie thing makes us see that people can get stuck in wood, like their essence or spirit, whatever you want to call it. And the log woman has said at one point in this, she says that her husband died in a fire. So I always took it that the log has his essence or spirit, whatever, inside of it. She's a terrible liar, Shelley. Looking for you? Why would anybody be looking for you? I'd immediately say, yo, there's someone looking for me. I ain't going there. She's not a good liar. Probably doesn't help that Bobby's right there. But yeah, there's a lot of new releases I got to catch up on. I think I'm going to try to knock out and watch Until Dawn. Probably tomorrow. Maybe after this, I'll throw that on, actually. I've been saying that for since it came out, to throw Until Dawn on. Because what's her name is in it? I forget the actress's name. The one that played the main girl in the Hellraiser remake from a few years back. And she's also, what's her character's name? On the show Ghosts on CBS, which it's my new favorite show for a few months now. That show is phenomenal. That show is so funny. That's probably the best comedy series or sitcom that I've seen since Santa Clarita Diet on Netflix. And then when they canceled that, I was furious. Ghosts is such a great show. Never saw the British version, the original that the American version's based off of. But I love that show. I think Blue Velvet would be the next deep dive of a Lynch film that I would do. Well, besides The Missing Pieces, Fire Walk With Me, that'll probably be the next one. But then Blue Velvet would probably most definitely actually would be the next one. And then maybe Lost Highway, Inland Empire. That's going to be a doozy. Talking Inland Empire. That movie's so nuts. Honestly, the only movies I never really cared for much in his filmography is I never was a big Elephant Man fan. I think it's an excellently made film, like every Lynch film, but I never loved that film. I'd never throw the Elephant Man on really to watch that ever. I've seen it a few times. And then Dune. I do like Dune. I think it's fun. But I know all the pressures and stuff he was under when he was filming that. And all the shit he had to deal with. It's Dune, I actually have a copy on DVD somewhere over there. It's the only Lynch film I don't own a copy of. Dune or Elephant Man. Elephant Man, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's just something about it. I mean, it's like I said, very well written, very well acted. Especially the performances are great in that film. Yeah, Elephant Man. I don't know. I just never, maybe because it's so different from Lynch's other films and his whole body of work, basically. I mean, you have a straight story too, but that's different in a different way. Elephant Man just never really resonated with me. I know a lot of people who don't like Inland Empire also. Actually, a decent amount of people, Lynch fans I know, that aren't the biggest fans of Inland Empire. Where is this fucking stream? Oh, there it is. James meeting up with Donna again. It sucks. James lives a hard life too. His mom's alcoholic and sleeps with guys and disappears all the time for like extended periods on end. Inland Empire is great moments as a whole. Unless you're a Lynch fan, it's a tough one. Oh, absolutely. That might be like his most dense film, actually. Especially, like you said, if you're not a Lynch fan, yeah. Most people that aren't, if you're not a Lynch fan and you watch Inland Empire, that's a rough watch. Absolutely. That's a film I still don't know what's going on half the time with that movie. With a lot of like most Lynch stuff. But that movie especially, it's very dense, it's very layered, it's very confusing. Like more so than the average Lynch stuff. Have you heard the whole theory? There's a great video that this guy did. I can't think of the channel name, but it's like a 4-hour video that says Twin Peaks explained, or like Twin Peaks, all the Twin Peaks explained, seriously, like something like that. And he goes on for like 4 hours talking and dissecting all the Twin Peaks. And his whole theory is that it's about television and that they're all basically, they know that they're in a show. And it's basically they're self-aware that they're acting in this TV show. And that's why like other dimensions is like other mediums, and it's a whole thing. It's this big ass theory this guy put together. It's something I've heard over the years too. It's not like his theory, but he breaks it all down. It's a great watch. It's long, 4 hours, but it is a great watch or a listen. And a lot of it makes sense. Like a ton of it makes sense. The theory is basically that the whole show is a meta commentary and take on like television and the medium itself of TV and entertainment. And like the mysteries, what's transmitted, like the large entities travel through electricity. It's just like how the television broadcast is sent to us, the audience, and we're the viewers. It gets into all of that. And a lot of stuff makes sense when you look at it that way. And Shirley was so cute as Maddy, the cousin. I like her as a brunette like that. Yeah, I've been gonna check that. Yeah, definitely when you get a chance, check that out. It's a very interesting theory. I want to say, is it Twin Perfect? Maybe that's the channel name. Hold on, I'm gonna find it quick. I think it's Twin Perfect. That sounds like possibly the name. Let's see. Twin Peaks explained. Oh yeah, it's the first video that pops up when you search on YouTube. Twin Peaks explained. It's 4.5 hours actually. It's Twin Peaks actually explained. No, really. Twin Perfect is the channel name. All right, so I remembered that. Yeah, I'm gonna link it in the chat here. Four-and-a-half-hour video explaining all of Twin Peaks. He has other good videos too on Twin Peaks, like one all on Judy, and like in a faux fake talk show format. It's like talking Judy, and like he's the host of the show, and there's an audience and shit. And like he has Philip Jeffries on as a teacup, and he starts like talking and shit. That's funny, but some good theories on Judy there too. And he has a decent amount of videos, a handful of them on Twin Peaks that really dive deep into everything. But that Judy one is very good too. Oh, okay. Here's an hour-long video on Mulholland Drive, and I got to check that out. I haven't seen that. Mm-hmm. Well, I know he did a few other ones. Then he even added like an addendum video with even more evidence for his Twin Peaks Explained. That's another hour and 18 minutes. I never saw that part. He added another hour and 18 minutes. Then he has a Twin Peaks actually explained, responding to the comments and criticisms, and did he get anything wrong? That's a half hour. So altogether, it's like 6 hours of that guy talking Twin Peaks. Maybe it's under playlists. I know I've seen other ones by him. It doesn't really matter. But good channel. Tune in tomorrow for an invitation to love again. And I really don't think we see that show once we enter the second season, right? I'm pretty sure we stopped seeing Invitation to Love. Are you using drugs, Bobby? I remember reading an essay on Mulholland Drive written by Rob Ager back in 2009 or around there. That was really good. Nice. Yeah, I've watched a few videos and read a lot of stuff over the years on Mulholland Drive and Twin Peaks. Those two especially. I've watched a handful of Mulholland Drive videos, and I've watched a lot of Twin Peaks stuff. Because it's just a rabbit hole that just never ends. It just keeps on giving. There's so much. It's interesting watching older videos that try to explain all the Twin Peaks before The Return came out. You know what I mean? That's interesting. Hearing people's thoughts and stuff and breaking the series down before we had a third season that fleshed out a lot of stuff. And then, of course, everything that flooded in when The Return became a thing. So I remember when that was premiering, what was it, Sunday night it was on, I think? I want to say Sunday night. I could be wrong. But whenever it was on, as soon as that episode ended, right online and just watching dissection videos and interpretations and reading reviews and all of that. Like, that was such a fun, like, probably the best TV experience. Like I said earlier, tied with Breaking Bad. But what a fun season of TV. Absolute roller coaster. Now Bobby gets some therapy from Jacoby here. So what is this? This is 20 or so minutes left of this. Then 2 weeks from now will be, because there's 8 episodes in season 1. So it'll be season 1, episode 7 and 8. And then season 2, episode 1, 2 weeks from now. Then I think it's 22 episodes in season 2. Let me check. I think that sounds right. And then there's 18 in the return. I know that. Yeah, it is 22. I knew that number sounded right. So 22 for season 2 with an 18 for the return. Which would be probably around 2 months to get through season 2. Maybe a little longer, actually. Yeah, because every other week, 3 episodes. Yeah, a few months to get through season 2, doing it every other week. And then season 3. Oh, no worries, buddy. Yeah, of course. Just let me know when you're free. I'm gonna try to stick to doing it on like I did with this in the first one on Saturday nights around the same time, like 10 or 11 in between there, and stick to the 3 episodes. So season 2 should take probably 2 months maybe. And then the return will probably take another month and a half, doing it every other week. So we got a lot of Twin Peaks to go. I love all the shots in the woods in this show. Every fucking scene that's in the woods, that at nighttime, in the daytime, doesn't matter. Lynch just had a way of, just like he shoots everything, but just the way that he shot the woods in his work makes it look so creepy and so surreal, so ominous. I always talk about Hatchet. I love Hatchet. And the first Hatchet film has such a surreal feel to it. The way that they're in the swamp and it looks like a set, even though it's not, because everything is so still. There's not a fucking breeze on the trees or anything. There's not a leaf moving or blowing. It's so still and it makes it look surreal and dreamlike. And I always liken that to Lynch. That's something I think Adam Green did excellent in the first Hatchet with the cinematography and how the swamp and everything looks. I love all 4 Hatchet movies, but I don't think they ever reached that same look of the woods and the swamps that they did in the first Hatchet. Oh, here's the log lady. The owls won't see us in here because the owls are not what they seem. Shut your eyes, you'll burst into flames, Margaret says. Now, what do you think the owls are? Like when she says that, well, that's one of the clues from the fireman that he gets, or the giant at the end of the season, at the end of season 8. He gets the bag that smiles. I forget the exact quote for the bag one, but it's the the body bag that smiles that he sees. And then the other ones, without chemicals, he points. Then it's the owls are not what they seem. Are the owls like lodge entities? Like in a different form? I don't know exactly what the owls are. Are they like the spirit of like people who passed or like are in the Black Lodge? Owls are always alien. Yeah, right. Like, well, in this context, it would work pretty much the same way. They are kind of like aliens or interdimensional beings. Yeah, here she is, telling Cooper to ask her logs. What did you see? He's asking a fucking piece of log what he saw. What did you see that night, log? Dark laughing. The owls were flying. Many things were blocked. Laughing, 2 men, 2 girls. This is him, the log, describing the night Laura died. Barrels were near. Also, yeah, like the log being her husband theory I have also kind of makes sense that I guess the woods all connected. So the log saw it because that log is connected to the woods basically. So I guess the woods are all like kind of connected as an entity in a way that this log can see what happens in the forest just from the other trees. I guess that's kind of what it's hinted at. Because the log saw all this, apparently. But she always has the log. So I'm guessing it happened in the woods and the log just knows. Because it saw it maybe in some way. Who the fuck knows, man? There's so many weird ass theories with the show. It does make sense, though. Excuse me. Into the night. Oh, this is Julie Cruz. She in the episode? We still got a little bit. Oh, is this when they break into Philip Gerard's house? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I like Cooper in his little FBI jacket, too. That's cool. He always looks good in this show. There's always music in the air. Oh, they found Waldo the bird. That's right. This bird spills fucking secrets. I found blood on the floor. Always thought cuckoo clocks were cool, but never wanted one because I read and then saw the episode of Goosebumps, and I was always afraid that I'd make my sister disappear if we got one and I fucked around with it. So we never had a cuckoo clock. Okay, you found the one-eyed Jack's coin. The chip broken on the floor. I was going to say, it doesn't look like Ben Horn in the dark there, sitting there. It's not. It's Josie Packard. There's Catherine and Pete Martell. Power couple in this show. Catherine and Pete. They are a pain in the ass. My parents had one growing up. Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. So they know. Oh, that's right. They got the people from Iceland here. The noisy fuckers. And a few episodes that keeping Cooper awake and stuff. Jerry Horn, I always liked his character. And then he has that crazy scene in The Return where he's like high as shit and he's walking around the woods. And then his foot starts saying, "I am your foot." And then starts like talking to him in that high pitched voice. And then he like falls down and he starts freaking out. That's funny as hell. It was cool seeing him back in The Return. I mean, everybody, but I didn't know if we'd see Jerry Horn back in it. I'm glad we got him. Piper Laurie's so great. Always loved her. Speaking of her, Carrie, she was so great with that. That's like one of the things I loved about that movie because I'm not big on that film. I was supposed to do that video fucking forever ago, like 2 months ago. We'll get to Carrie eventually. I just keep expecting him to clink empty beer bottles together and start chanting war. Right? That'd be cool. Warrior Twin Peaks style. We are the warriors. Audrey's such a snoop. I love that about her. Always snooping around, always like playing little detective, trying to solve the case on her own. Or if she has her own agenda, she's sneaking around trying to get that done. She has this secret spot that she spies on her father's office through. Oh, is this where she sees Catherine and Ben like kiss or some shit? She slaps Ben. Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking that actually, and then looked up, saw your comment. She does. I mean, and I mean, if you consider what happened with her in the return, though, I mean that's different. But I still don't know what happened with Audrey in the return. I was talking about this in the last stream 2 weeks ago. Theories on like what happened with her, because we know from the final dossier, which I read when it came out, that Audrey survived. Obviously, she had Richard. She survived the bomb at the end of in the finale of season 2 at the bank. Then I just assume that she ends like she's in an institution or a hospital or something, or she's in the White Lodge. She's in somewhere where she comes out of whatever reality she thinks she's in, a dream or whatever, where she's at the double R and she's doing her dance and the fight breaks out. She runs over Charlie, the cuckold husband she got. Oh, whatever he is. No, that's the doctor, right? But it's her husband. Yeah, yeah. And then she wakes, like, comes to, and there's a white background, and she's looking at her face like in a reflection, and then that's all we see of Audrey Horne ever again. So I always took that maybe she's in a hospital or in an institution, mental institution or something. I don't know. Or possibly is she trapped in a lodge somewhere or trapped in a dimension? I don't know. It's not clear on what happened with Audrey, and I don't remember besides like a detail or two from that I mentioned already in the final dossier exactly what it says about her. Like if it does elaborate on that and say what happened to her. If it does, I don't remember because I read it when it came out. I felt like that was kind of forced in a way. I feel like maybe Lynch he felt like he had to have a little bit of a resolution to Audrey's story, but maybe didn't fully know what he wanted to do with it. And we just kind of got like this little weird cliffhanger ending with Audrey. Because that's what it feels like. Actually, I wonder what the final dossier actually does say about that. That's something I would like to do too. Is reread Laura Palmer's diary, uh, the first Twin Peaks book, and then there was a few of them, all the major Twin Peaks books, and the final dossier and stuff, and then do a video talking about the books. That would be something I'd be interested in doing. Because, like I said, I haven't read the final dossier since it came out. And Laura Palmer's diary in the first, was it like the Guide to Twin Peaks or something like that? The first one. In 10 years, maybe. That would be interesting to reread. Oh, they found the tape. She has to remind her to bring a tape recorder. Yet the whole thing is she got the tape. Yeah, the books are interesting. I mean, usually that's Mark Frost's department. I think he wrote the final dossier, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But it gives a lot of, it fleshes out a lot of things. Or maybe it's the history of Twin Peaks. That might be the name of the first one. It does flesh out some stuff, and it does expand upon a lot of lore about the town and history and things that happened decades ago in the town of Twin Peaks and all that type of stuff. The final dossier is written from Tammy's perspective. It's like her report on everything that happened from Tammy Preston, I think, Agent Preston. Yeah, from the return, the new girl who was with Gordon and Albert. I thought she was pretty good in that role. I forget the actress. I know I've seen her before. I can't recall her name, but she was good in The Return. So I want to see if it says anything on the wiki here about Audrey, like something that's confirmed that I'm forgetting about what happened to her at the end of The Return. I know it's episode 16 that she is at the roadhouse, so that she kind of just, wakes up into whatever existence she's in. It would probably be under The Return part of this wiki, right? All right, in the waiting room, the little girl lived down. Yeah, that's right. There's that whole thing that the arm says in The Return about the little girl who lived down the lane. And she also says that to Charlie. I remember that. Just in a white hospital again. Yeah, it says in the wiki, because I know she's in a brightly lit room. It's all white. That's all you can see. And it says here that she's in a hospital gown, which is what it looked like to me. And she's looking at a reflection in a mirror. So I still don't know what the fuck that means. Like, what happened to her? I think that she was in a hospital. She got institutionalized eventually, and all of that plot with her and her husband Charlie, and she's looking for Billy and everything. All of that's in her head, and it's just like her being institutionalized. For what reason? I don't know. I mean, there's so many questions to this show. That's right. This is where Cooper sees his doors open. Oh, that's right. This is when Cooper catches Audrey in his bed. Naked in his bed. This guy's got some fucking willpower. I'll tell you that right now. And it ends like that. He has some willpower. I'm pretty sure she's 18 in this show, right? Yeah. So I mean, he's only in his 20s in the show, I think. But yeah, ends with Audrey in Cooper's bed, naked, and he does not feel comfortable in the next episode. But I guess thanks for hanging out. Thanks for everyone who came in earlier. Thanks for hanging, Synth. And yeah, next thing will be Feast 2. Well, next thing will be Megan 2.0. Spoiler free tomorrow. Then Feast 2, Poltergeist 3, Feast 3, and then we'll move on to whatever after that. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good night, buddy. I'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.